Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about keyword arguments and also explaining all the cool things that we can do with them. So in the last video, or actually I don't even know if it was the last video, in one of the past videos I already showed you guys that you can have default arguments. For example, you can have a number and set it equal to a value, or I think we did the sex and we set it equal to unknown. So we did something like this. Let me make a really simple function. I'll just name it dumb sentence, and it's going to print out a really dumb sentence, and we'll give it a couple default values, and we already know what those are, so I won't explain them again. So we'll have a variable called name, have another one called action, and all of these are just going to be simple string variables, and item. So the only purpose of this function is to print out a dumb sentence, and by default we'll just say Bucky ate tuna using 3 different variables. So in order to do this, print name, action, item. So right now, if I just run this, of course, got phlegm in my throat. So remember, when we don't pass in any arguments, it just uses the default argument. So that's what is happening right now. However, in this tutorial, I want to show you something else. So we have a different couple options of exactly what parameters we pass in and how we pass them in. So by default, whenever we pass in parameters, it's going to accept them in the order we pass them in. So Sally, what did Sally do? Sally farts, and for the item, we'll just say Sally farts gently. So Sally farts gently. So again, this function, the function that we just created, it takes 3 string variables. Now, we're passing in 3 string variables right now, so what it does is it says, okay, since you did this one first, this one second, and this one third, I'm going to go ahead and assume that the first one is supposed to be equal to name, the second one action, and the third one item. Okay, makes sense, and that's how it displayed it whenever, or that's how it used it, I should probably say. However, there are going to come certain times where maybe we only want to pass in the second one, or maybe we want to pass in the third one and the first one. So whenever we want to pass in a limited number of arguments, or we want to pass them in a different order, this is how we do it. We need to utilize the keyword of this argument right here. So say that we wanted to set the item equal to something different. Well, if we just write a string there, it's going to think it's meant for the first one. So what we can do is we can actually type item and set it equal to awesome. So now whenever we print this out, it says Bucky ate awesome. Well, that doesn't really make sense, so let's go ahead and change that. So in this last example, we'll say, okay, tree item is awesome instead of tuna, and also for the action, it would make more sense if we wrote is. So again, not only are we choosing to pass in only a limited number of these parameters, just the second and third one, but we can also pass them in any order we want. Pretty easy, especially whenever we wrote a bit of code and we're giving this to someone else and allow them to use our functions. So run this, and it says Bucky is awesome. So again, that is what a keyword argument is, a really cool way to work with arguments, to pass in a limited amount of arguments or pass them in any order you want. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.